The NBA Finals are underway, where the final two teams standing are currently battling it out for the right to be called champions, but the other 28 teams have shifted their focus towards what they will be doing this offseason. There has already been a ton of buzz regarding some insider information getting leaked, along with some rumors spreading about what is going to happen, but ultimately there's no telling what kind of mania is about to go down. For today's video, these kinds of moves are what we will be discussing, and specifically, I will be making 6 bold predictions for what I believe is in store for us this summer. There are moves that feature some of the biggest names in the league that could shake things up quite a bit that aren't necessarily expected to happen, hence why they'll be the bold predictions we'll be discussing today. Before we start though, I want to thank Prizepix for sponsoring this video. Prizepix is the perfect service for all of us basketball fans here because when you're involved, it makes watching the games every night so much more fun and engaging. Basically, it's an application that provides you with lines on all kinds of individual player props, such as points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers made amongst others, and you simply have to choose whether you believe they will record over the set amount in the line or under the set amount in the line. Make your selections, wager however much you want to, and if your picks hit, you can win some big money. For some picks that I'm looking at making for the next finals game, I'm thinking of going with their special offer of Jason Tatum to score over 0.5 points, Andrew Wiggins to make over 1.5 threes, and Robert Williams to grab over 6.5 rebounds. If this sounds at all intriguing to you, then go use the link down in the description of the video to sign up today and use promo code REFERENCE to receive a 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. Once again, thank you to Prizepix for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. To start things off, the first bold prediction I'll be firing off is that I believe Zach LaVine is about to leave the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls have been incredibly aggressive over the last year and a half to build a playoff team around LaVine, and while their work did pay off with a postseason appearance this year, their stay in the playoffs was short-lived as they got eliminated in the first round. Prior to the season, LaVine said in an interview that his biggest priority was to win by any means necessary, and while a playoff appearance is a step in the right direction, I'm not sure if it'll be enough. He has also said recently that he wants to be paid like a max player, and the Bulls are able to offer him the most amount of money on the market, capable of offering him $200 million over 5 years. Alternatively, reporter Mark Stein believes that teams in the league are under the impression that he is available to be had, and if winning truly is a top priority for him, he may be willing to sacrifice some money to achieve that while still getting a max contract, even if it's not as much as the Bulls can offer. Teams like the Mavericks, Lakers, Trailblazers, and many others will be looking to add all-star talent this summer, and I think LaVine could be the guy that they go hardest after. My next bold prediction for this offseason is that Deandre Ayton has played his final game as a Phoenix Sun. The Ayton situation in Phoenix has been fizzling for a while now, as over the last year or so, he never really felt like he was on the same page as those in charge of the organization. As a former #1 overall pick in the draft, who has performed well in his 4 seasons as a two-way player that defends hard and produces efficiently on offense, you would think that they would prioritize locking him up for the future, but they never came to an agreement on a contract extension, and now he's going into this summer ready to test the market. The Suns, of course, can match any offer that Ayton gets, as he is a restricted free agent, but their actions have shown that they aren't going to prioritize paying him big money to stay. There's a chance they let him walk in free agency, but the most likely scenario to me seems to be that they will work with him to find him a destination that he wants to go to, and the Suns will then work out a sign and trade deal with that team in order to acquire some sort of return for him so they don't lose him for nothing. My next bold prediction for this upcoming offseason is that Zion Williamson will decline the contract extension offered to him by the Pelicans this summer because he will want to test free agency next year. When you're a top draft pick in the NBA, you're guaranteed at least 2 or 3 years with the team that drafts you, and then the team has the ability to offer a contract extension. And for the players that perform at a high level, those contract extensions can be worth a lot of money. Zion Williamson's situation with the Pelicans from the very beginning has been a strange one to say the least. When he's been on the court, he has been sensational, but the issue is that he's barely been on the court, and he's been surrounded by rumors of disagreements between him and the franchise, which brings to question his future with the organization. The Pelicans aren't really in a position to be stingy here, so they will more than likely offer him a big contract extension this summer, but I have a strong feeling that Zion will decline to sign it in order to test free agency next year. He'll enter that period as a restricted free agent just like Deandre Ayton is now, but it doesn't feel like Zion is ready to commit to staying with the Pelicans at this point in time. The next bold prediction that I have for this summer is that Kyrie Irving has also played his final game for the Brooklyn Nets. When Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant teamed up in Brooklyn a few years ago, the expectation was title contention year in and year out, and to put it simply, that is not what they have gotten. Kyrie Irving has been in the headlines more for what he's done off the court than his performances on the court. His decisions resulted in him missing over half of the season last year, and after the team got swept in the first round by Irving's former team, the Boston Celtics, there have been plenty of reports coming out in recent days stating that the Nets front office are starting to be fed up with him. They are reportedly unwilling to give him a lengthy contract extension, and as Irving is currently going into the final year of his current contract, I could see the team looking to move him in a trade instead of going through another season of ups and downs with him, only to let him leave for nothing a year from now. My next bold prediction for the offseason is that John Wall will finally be traded this summer. John Wall's stint in Houston has been one of the stranger ones in recent history, as he was originally included in a swap trading him for Russell Westbrook, but then the Rockets went into full rebuild mode, and because of that, they haven't been playing him, so essentially he's being paid one of the most lucrative contracts in the entire NBA to do nothing. He has said that he wants to play, but finding a trade that makes sense for both the Rockets and him and the team involved is incredibly difficult to come about, which is why he still has not been traded, despite the team and Wall himself wanting it to happen. When there aren't any games being played in the offseason and teams can fully focus on transactions like this, I feel as though there's a higher chance that they can put their energy towards finding a deal that makes sense, and after a year's hiatus, I truly think we will be seeing John Wall playing basketball again next season on a new team. And finally, the last bold prediction of the day is that Tobias Harris and his massive contract will also be moved this summer. The Sixers have shown that they're going to be aggressive in pursuit of contention after acquiring James Harden, but they're limited in what they can do, with all of the rest of their money tied up into Harris's max contract. At one point, his deal was virtually untradeable because of the duration and the money guaranteed, but now Tobias only has 2 seasons left on his contract, and that's the kind of short-term agreement that a team willing to take on a salary dump can tolerate, as long as other assets are attached. Harris is also coming off of arguably the strongest postseason showing of his career, and has demonstrated that he can provide value on both ends of the floor, so it's not as though he's a liability by any means. It's just unfortunate that in the case of the Sixers, he's holding them back from making any real improvements to their roster. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below any bold predictions you have for the upcoming offseason. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.